One of the things you've pointed out there is this: the customer often knows what they want by the time they engage. So they're not, right. A lot of them may not even be seeking advice anymore from salespeople. And so in that sense, they feel as though they've already isolated the product that they want. And that can even, I guess, create a commoditization and a price sell that salespeople could fall into.
Very true.
Even in the most complex of sales, if there's enough data out there, the buyer can do the research. Is there, I'd imagine there's an increased, in my experience, as it relates to recruiting sales professionals at that level,
yes.
There's an increased need for somebody who can ask the whys. And what I mean by that is an organisation or a customer that says, here's what we're looking for, how much is it off you guys, because I'm doing a price comparison here. There's an increased need for a salesperson that can say, before we get into talking about price, can you tell me why it is you've landed on that product? What's important to you about the product? What are you trying to achieve out of your decision there? That inquisitive, commercially inquisitive salesperson, I think, is even more important than what they've been before, because the customer often is looking to shut you off from that type of conversation because they may have already drawn conclusions of their own.
It's a really, really good point, and absolutely agree that the customer, if the customer meets you and they've really feel like they've already made a purchasing decision around the particular solution or the product, the challenge for the salesperson to differentiate is to take them back up through their own buying process. The customer, take them a few steps back. And as we often talk about, elevating that customer conversation. If we meet the customer and we entertain that features, benefits, value around the product, you're right, it will turn into a price war. And nobody really wins there. So it's about elevating that customer, bringing the customer back up to talk about and understand their situation. The customer isn't always right around what they think they need. That's the challenge. And to be able to truly bring value to the customer, then being able to have the acumen and bring insight to that conversation so that you might be able to educate the customer in a more informed way about actually what solution is going to best fit their needs when you have the opportunity to understand what their situation is, what challenges they're trying to address, and what are the opportunities for them in terms of addressing this challenge. And that's really shifting to being that trusted advisor. So I would say don't get caught in the trap of talking sort of features, functions and price. Wherever possible, try to elevate that conversation before we start looking at the value proposition of our offer.